I still have dreams, but they're crazy. You know, they're just crazy. I don't remember them. They tell me at the VA to write them down, and I think I'll remember them. But some of them are just totally insane. I dream about old buddies and places we were, and we were moving all the time. I never talked about it for years, did I? The kids, when I did start talking about it, the kids didn't even hardly know I'd been in the Army. I used to tell them places I'd been, you know. They didn't know that.
Actually, he started telling his grandson these stories to entertain him when we babysat for him. And then he decided his memory was getting kind of fuzzy, so he started writing.
When you get old, you can't remember if you even had breakfast this morning, but you can remember what you eat 60 years ago. That's true. There's a lot of things you don't want to remember, you know, are so horrible you don't remember them. I mean, people don't think about it, but in Germany and in Belgium and everywhere else, there's civilians there, you know, also. And everybody forgets about them. But if you're there, and I'm sure I've killed civilians, I never did it intentionally, but, you know, they want to send guys in Iraq to prison for killing civilians. I think that they should have guys like me on their jury, because you'd have to understand everything that was going on, you know. The reason I probably killed him, if you were taking a town, the doors are always locked, you know. You'd be running down the street and they'd be firing on you. There was no place to hide. So you'd run to the door. Well, they're always locked. You'd hit the damn thing and bounce out in the middle of the street. So you'd shoot at it as you were running to it. And when you could hit it, you could knock it open. And they generally had, in the front of the building, there'd be stairs going down into the basement or the cellar, you know. And you'd holler in German to come out, you know. Mach schnell, I can remember that. Do it quick. and no one would answer, but you could hear noises. So you'd throw a grenade down the stairs, you know. But you didn't go down to look. You went on down the street to take the next house. I'm sure sometimes there was women and kids down there. I'm sure they probably were, you know. But you just had to be there. Do you believe that? There wasn't no way of telling for sure, you know, unless you went down there. And if it was the wrong people down there, you died for your nosiness, you know. Oh, I wrote a story about Blue Eyes, you know. Did you read it? Where the young dead German soldier was laying in the steps in the cellar, and every time we'd go up, he's laying all his back. We had to hold on, you know, to keep from stepping on him, then look down on him, and his eyes were wide open, but they had dust all over them, but they were wide open. Dead people's eyes are not. And I don't know whether it was the dust or what, but he had real bright blue eyes, and he was just a kid. And every time you go in and out, you have to step over him and look down at his eyes open. I can still remember that, but we never moved him. But you're just so used to stuff like that. And women and kids, you know, would get killed, and they were in the buildings, you know, and you could have to, and little kids would be bleeding to death, and it wasn't nothing you could do about it. They were screaming and bleeding, and that was what you had to put up with. People don't know, you know, all the horrible stuff that goes on. And back then, they didn't, the VA is treating me for what is it, post-traumatic stress syndrome right now. But after the end of World War II, they never heard of such a thing, you know. Patton, remember, slapped that guy's face that had it, told him to get up there, you yellow son of a bitch, and get back to the front. He did. That's true. done that.
Yeah.
Look at the history. He done it. And you never heard of that then. You know, you were just yellow-bellied coward.
Yeah.
But now it's I don't know when it started in Vietnam. I think they started treating it. But I think all the accidents I've had were due to that, because I got the idea that I couldn't get hurt, you know, or something. So I just do stupid things. And my tractor accident, when I ruined my leg, that was, I've had people, I didn't think you were that stupid. Well, I didn't either, I tell them, you know. But I just thought I could get away with it. And I think it was part of that. Like something that still bothers me, you guys probably don't remember, but there was only one guy shot for desertion in World War II, and I can't remember his name. They made a movie about it, Private Slovak, and he was just a poor kid. I think he was his dad was dead, or he'd run off and left them one, and his mother was a waitress in a restaurant in Pennsylvania, I think, and they lived upstairs in a rented room over the restaurant. He knew nobody, had no connections, you know, he was nothing. So they wanted to make an example out of someone. He didn't desert no more than a lot of other people did. They found him himself on a road in the Ardennes in the woods, you know. And so they just decided they'd make an example out of him and shot him for desertion. Well, the damn people who decided to shoot him had already deserted. You know, they were in adjutant general or some goddamn thing, you know. They weren't going to die. They weren't going to be used like Kleenex. And so you see who I am?
I got it.
They needed shot just as bad as he did in my book, you know, because they'd already deserted. As far as I'm concerned, they wasn't about to be at the front, you know, and I have no use for people like that, you know. I don't.